Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Red Path. Welcome back to the Skull Takers, our show where we talk to world leader players all around the world who have been at tournaments and done well or have brought interesting lists that we want to talk about. Shockingly, as you might have expected, following the Nova Open, we've got Brian on today, who, did pretty decent at Nova this year, got to the finals and choked hard, which is to be expected at this point. Brian choked Doherty, I think is how we can start referring to him now. Brian, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, Dara. Quite literally just off the flight. I am exhausted as hell. I know both of us are kind of running on fumes, but I am in good spirits. This is still the best tournament performance I would say I've ever had. Even more so than like maybe Worlds or obviously third place at Dallas. This is something that I'm really proud of. And even though I couldn't take it all the way across the finish line, um, still an improvement for me. And I'm kind of happy to get to talk about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We got a lot of games to get through as well. 9 games, right? It was
9 games.
a little bit of a marathon for you. So why don't we just kick it off straight away? How was Nova as an event? It's a pretty cool one to go to, right? One of the
Yeah.
biggest.
Washington, D.C. The venue is awesome. Uh, the food prices, not awesome. I had to walk down the street for that. It was like $20 for a hot dog. It was
Hell
that
yeah.
bad. It was like that bad. But I would say broadly, this was the cleanest and most well-run super major I've ever been to. Like
Nice.
huge problem. And that was Dallas previously. Granted, I haven't been to a crazy amount of super majors, but compared to the chaos from like Adepticon and WCW, just trying to get its feet wet, like right there, just a brand new like event starting up. Nova so far has been my favorite one that I've been to in terms of atmosphere, location, everything else about it. The TOs were awesome. They had GW there streaming. Um, yeah, everything was great.
Sweet, man. Yeah, and you were on the stream 3 times, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they just loved me so much that they kept me around. A couple of the other players, I think, opted out of the stream towards the end, which is why they invited me on for the top eight, and then I was kind of like the only option they had
Yeah, you were
for the
forced in,
semifinals,
right? And then
and
you were
then
in the
and then
final.
I was forced in again. So yeah, they got to know me
Yeah.
a little bit. And
Yeah.
granted, I love Scary, so having getting to hang out with Scary a little bit more was awesome.
Yeah. No, it was awesome to watch you play through and kind of see. I think a lot of the concepts that we actually like really advocate for on the channel, particularly the passive aggressive playstyle coming out in massive force, particularly in your first two stream games, like even the way that it was being described on the stream was literally like the words that we have used to describe the passive aggressive playstyle, where it's like minimal amount of unit commitment for maximum reward, basically. And
Right.
I think, I mean, listen, it was a clinic in that playstyle and how I think the highest level of world leaders can and should be played, if you really want to make them, go all the way. So it was really awesome to see this kind of, I suppose, archetype or play style that we've been preaching for so long, just like on the big screens, being proven to everyone, saying like, "Hey, look, we're not crazy. This is actually like the best way to play." But yeah, awesome. Let's kick it over to the list because it's Warband. It's what we know and love, but it's maybe a little bit unconventional, and you built something a little bit special for Nova. So why don't you walk us through that?
Yeah. So first, I'll start off with the original list that I've been talking about quite a bit, which was the one that I took to Battle for the Capital, won that GT with, and then swapped Ape on it for Maulerfiend. Yes, I love that list. It's an all-rounder, keeps you prepared for knights. It has a little bit of a stat check to it. It has kind of all the tools you need to really excel, or not excel, at least do all right in even bad matchups, right? And it still does have very good matchups, like very good matchups it's maintaining, but it's at least giving you a fighting chance to knights, and it's giving you a good chance into some other weird lists that might be spamming high toughness like demons or like that's what the one Maulerfin brings to the list. But as you can see from if you go look at the GW streams for the finals, All three of those games I have on there is on GW Layout 2. And two of those games are across the table, like firing lane. Like you can't hide in your deployment zone. You just can't. Which is why I was thankful to pair against a World Leader mirror match for the first of those. And then I was able to take advantage of only the knight being able to shoot me and kind of hiding from that on the second game. But I needed a way to be able to project threat across the table without having to worry about my deployment, right? So the Mauler Fiend wasn't going to cut it, right? I had nowhere to put that thing in my deployment zone where it wasn't going to get blown up turn one.
And like they're hard to maneuver into a good staging point, particularly on layout too. But even in the majority of GW layouts, like I haven't run them a bunch myself. Like the Mauler Fiend is a tricky piece to actually move around if you're not starting it in strategic reserve, right?
Right. And then I don't even like I don't personally like strategic reserves either because at top tables, your opponent is going to tell you where you're bringing the Mauler Fiend on the table.
Yeah.
And I don't like being told what I can't do. So instead, I opted for a slight variation to that list. And I made some sacrifices, but in my opinion, those sacrifices paid off and may be permanent sacrifices that I make going forward. So starting off, we have Khorne, can't go wrong. Glavemo, still won't drop him. I'm still in the 20 Berserkers. We have Lord Invocatus, which is the new spicy one. And then we have Demon Prince with Favored. So just kind of breaking down my HQ slot a little bit there, because that's a little weird. I've been kind of championing the favorite Slaughterbound for a little bit. I think Helm Prince is very good. I'm not saying it's bad. And if I had a way to keep Helm Prince in my list, I would. But
You need the favorite in there, right? Like
I
you need that
needed
reliability. Yeah.
I chose favored over Helm, and there was I actually counted, and to your point about the passive aggressive playstyle, my Demon Prince saw combat two times this entire major. The whole major, it saw combat two times. That wasn't because I was necessarily holding it back, but that was also because my games were just going really well. But Helm wasn't really going to be relevant for me in a broad situation. Like there might be a couple moments in one or two games where Helm will pop off, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have -1 damage in the pocket. I'll manage my CP a little bit better in those matchups, and it'll be fine. I can't not have favored, right? So I chose favored over Helm, but I'm not saying Helm is bad. I would put Helm back in the list the first chance I get, as soon as I can have Helm and favored.
I think Helm allows you to be a little bit more aggro with the prince because you can be a little bit more confident in his ability to survive, particularly if you combo it with the -1 damage stratagem. But I think with favored, yeah, I would be in the same boat where I'm just like, keep him safe, keep him
It,
secret, you know?
and as I get into the rest of the list, I'll kind of justify why more I was okay with not playing aggro with the prince, right? Because now we have Invocatus, right? If we're
Mm.
talking layout two, the only way that I'm going to be able to stage on like a weird side ruin is if I can deep strike there or ingress there, because I'm not getting their turn, or I can also scout there, but I'm not deploying their turn one. And if I lose the roll off, anything I have that wants to move there is just going to get blown off the table. And that is what I didn't want to have happen. I wanted to be able to put that passive aggressive pressure on my opponent as hard as I could, even if I had to deploy the second Rhino further back somewhere else. Um, this also gave me the upside of now I can hit my opponent in the face with 20 Berserkers and an Invocatus Ingress with 3 8 which is the most pressure I've ever been able to put on an opponent with World Leaders, period. You combine that with the rest of the list, we have 20 Berserkers, 2 10-mans, 20 Jackals, 2 10-mans, 3 squads of Spawn, and 2 Fortunes with 2 8 accompanying them. Now, between the 3 Spawn, the extra Jackals, which the Jackals were also a choice too. They kind of just fit into the list naturally, but they brought the upside of we have nothing that picks up 10 Poxwalkers, and if my opponent puts Poxwalkers in the middle of the table and I draw Area Denial, I actually, from the RB2K, I want that first wave of Jackals to just run out, clean up the trash, and move on. Because Spawn won't do it. I don't want to waste
And
Berserkers
Jackals
on
are
that.
pretty good at that now, right? Like
Very good.
they're way better than they used to be.
They dump 40 attacks. You put an 8 pound behind the wall, hitting on three, sustained
hmm
hits, dev wounds. Like they'll get the job done, right? And
Yeah.
I have even had Jackals like rip apart
Scouts or five
Votan
Marines.
Votan Terminators just getting in there.
Okay, wow, okay.
Dev wounds, sustained hits, just ripping them
Let's
apart
not
with the damage two
oversell it to
weapons.
the people.
Anyways, the idea is I just wanted as much trash as possible to force my opponent back with garbage, basically. This is the spawn, even the ape on a little bit. That's not garbage. Invocatus if he needed to be, because I ran him in all 4 modes. Solo on the table, attached with ape on the table, solo and deep strike, in deep strike with three. All four of those modes I did multiple times throughout this tournament. All four have their own use cases, which I can break that down at a later time. I could write a whole essay about how to use Invocatus. Um, but
Where might those people find such an essay, Brian?
maybe in our Patreon. I don't know. But the use cases for Invo really opened that up. So I was able to force my opponent back with high quality skirmishing, which allowed my rhinos, my forge fiends, and the demon prince with favored, not helm, to breathe and wait. And all I wanted to do is wait. I wanted to wait until my opponent made a mistake or they just ran out of things that died to spawn. And then they had to come into the table with real units, and I got to play the game on my terms the entirety of the game. And when I hit them, it was usually just a knockout blow with berserkers. The list plays. This feels like the best passive aggressive playstyle list I could have possibly built. I'm probably going to be playing this in teams. I'm really impressed with the list. It handled Thousand Suns really well. It handled Death Guard. All right, on theory it'll handle Death Guard really well. I know previously I've been fine into it. I feel stronger with this now into that. The only matchup that gets a little bit sketchier is Knights. Fortunately, did not pair Knights, but we had a few Red Path. I had a few Red Path cultists actually in the room with me, fighting alongside me, and a few of them paired Knights with this list, and we're still beating Knights. So it still can beat Knights, and they also beat Death Guard too. So, um,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Awesome, man. It's a wicked list. I mean, as an a fond user of the passive aggressive playstyle myself, thoroughly enjoy what you've cooked up with. Yeah, it's great. Absolutely love it. So we're going to pivot now into the games. We've got 9 of them to get through. How do you want to do this, Brian? You want to kind
Yes.
of go for some quick highlights?
Yeah, so I'm not really gonna, of course, we can't have this be a 2.5 hour long video, guys. It's
Well,
nine
you can, but
games,
we're tired.
but we're tired. It's 9 games. I'm gonna talk through the brief highlights, what I thought going into it, the matchup, and I'll probably talk more in detail in some of the higher quality and higher like tough like the tough games and the matchups that I was like really worried about. But we'll try to get through these as best we can as quick as we can. So
Absolutely.
round one.
Round
Uh,
one.
round one, pair into the hated Leagues of Votan,
Oh,
your
fuck. I
favorite.
hate them so much.
Now, this round actually scared me so much, and it's not the Votan player, it's the fact that it was round one Purge,
Mm.
which that was where I was like, all right, auto loss into Knights, spin the wheel. Do we get Knights? Which was still about 15% of the room, by the way, and they're still in the top eight, and so is Death Guard. So if you think the nerfs were enough, you're wrong. So I was like I was ready to go like my auto loss and submarine my way back up, but it didn't happen. We paired Votan. Still gonna have a good game. I played against Christian Howard on Leagues of Votan, Crucible, Purge the Foe.
And just to
Uh,
clarify for people who are watching, was this, I presume this was old Votan, but was it an
old Votan.
old Votan, old points?
They chose to use old Votan new points, so the
Oh, freaky.
old vote not new Votan points. Old Votan new like Death Guard new Night.
Right.
The
Okay. Yeah.
nerfs were
Yeah.
factored
Yeah.
in, but they decided to not
Yeah.
use the codex, which was their choice. But um, game went kind of stereotypically World Eatery. I don't really have much to say. He was playing 2 Hecaton land fortresses. This is when I like proved to myself that it was going to be okay and that I didn't need to be scared of knights because I was still easily picking up Hecaton land fortresses and Sagittars and stuff. The list still has the strength and ability to kill big knights. Um, just overall on the table. Honestly, I don't remember much about this game. This game was a while ago in terms of mental stress. Um, Christian was nice. The score ended up being 100 to 75. I was able to keep him pinned up in his deployment zone, consistently get kill one, kill more. The issue is with Purge, usually your opponent can still rack up a respectable score if they're still on the table for 5 turns, because they're going to minimum be getting kill one, hold one, right? And
Yeah.
that's 32 points at worst in primary, as long as you're alive for 5 turns, which is what happened. So it was a good back and forth game, but I made sure that I was always up on the table in terms of hold more and kill more. Votan can be a tricky matchup because they have the firepower and the speed to come
Yeah. They
find you
can.
and get you.
They can
Yeah,
be a real tricky matchup for
I know
certain people.
for certain people. For me, I've never once lost to a Votan player, Dara, but I can't.
For
Can
me,
you
I've
say
never
that?
once beaten a Votan player.
Together we are average, but
Hell yeah.
50% win rate right there on Stat Check is what that is. Um, they can be tricky. But at the end of the day, if you just touch all their stuff, they can't get you and they can't hurt you.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see how that matchup changes with their new codex because it's like same but different. I don't know. It's kind of a fun one.
The for us, it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
I'd say for the Codex, the ceilings, their damage ceilings come down, but the floor got more consistent.
Super consistent now. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is super consistent damage. But
Man, I'll
there
tell you what though, I won't miss the like ignores cover across my whole fucking army. Jesus, that's
that is
so annoying to deal with.
the biggest weakness I've seen on Vote new because we're going off on a tangent here. But the biggest weakness I've seen with the new Codex so far is that everything's AP1, AP2, and it
Mm,
doesn't ignore cover. So if you're just standing in ruins, you can like, oh, that didn't hurt that bad, right? Like
yeah.
but they're going to hit, they're going to wound, and they have rerolls, which they did not have before, which is
Yeah.
something that they have them. But losing the plus one to wound will hurt them. But game
One to
two,
watch. Game two.
you'll love this one. This is going to be hidden supplies, search and destroy. So I was like, ah, sweet, search and destroy. I'm gonna just like
Baller.
beat somebody up and put them in a corner. Instead, I get paired into Warhorde Orcs with literally a million boys.
Oh man, that is fun though. On
Jas
Search and Destroy.
Jasper Bisky. And this was like a welcome to the Thunderdome because both of us, if
Yeah.
he called Wah turn one, he could get in my face and I could get in his face at any time. Um, but he didn't have a single ounce of shooting. And it was search and destroy layout six. So I was actually able, and my plan was to just hang back, chill out, and shoot him with a Forge Fiend for 5 turns straight and wait for the fight to actually start after I've whittled him down and taken his transport. And that's what happened. First 2 turns of the game, Forge Fiends, played really passively. Like I said, it's just so nice to be able to go spawn, pass turn, spawn, pass turn, spawn, pass turn, right? Like that's what I did for the first few turns, is the bare minimum to keep the points ticking up and up and up without committing. And I was able to, which is kind of funny when world leaders play against another army that has no shooting and we have Forge Fiends. It's actually almost unfair. Because we have the speed to get to them. They don't have the speed to get to us, and we have the shooting to just kind of annoy them passively. So that's what happened. I hung back. Forge Fiends ticked away, ticked away, ticked away. And eventually he was just in the middle of the board. He had 20 boys and a war boss exposed, and he had a battle wagon with 20 boys inside of it. And the big scary thing about Warhorde for World Leader players is their ability to go fight on death, -1 to wound, interrupt. And they do that all in 1 turn. And I kid you not, at one point in time, we each had like 8, 7 CP because we just weren't doing anything for the first few turns. So the reality of him doing that was real. But he gave me a battle wagon, had 20 boys in it. So if I cracked the wagon, they were going to be tank shocked. I could kill all the boys and not worry about a fight on death. And the other 20 boy squad was going to chuck Khorne at. Khorne was going to go kill it, and he was going to die the fight on death. So be it. Just do it. I just have to rip the band-aid off. It's going to happen, right? I was about to slam the door, game over, turn 3, 20-0 this, like game's gone, pack up, we can go get lunch. And instead, so I had a Forge Fiend shoot the battle wagon, hurt it quite a bit. I think I put 12 damage on it. I then threw a grenade at it, got it down to 1, and I was like, perfect, perfect, because now I can surround it with berserkers, leave enough space for him to get out, and tank shock with a rhino, and we're in, baby. Tank shock it with the rhino, kill it, pays a CP and Kareem's.
Ah, see ya.
And it went backwards 12
Oh, that's
inches,
fucking genius. I love
blew
it.
up, and then the boys all spilled out, and then Mo's just standing there, just like, because it happened mid-charge phase. Like the Rhino charge and Mo's about to charge the contents that fall out. Well, I can't charge it if it's not there. He was just standing there like, what are we supposed to do? Like the huh? Like what? And the boys were outside of charge distance. And now I'm like, ah, shit, because now I have lost Karn and the 10 Berserkers on the other side of the board of the fight on death. And Mo and 10 are just sitting there staring at 20 more boys that are about to charge him. And I was like, ah, this game is so hard now.
Not gonna lie, that's like the most fucking genius counter to like quite a good play setup that I've ever heard. It's just like I see that you've jumped through like several hula hoops to get to this point, but what if I just said I'm gonna go into reverse?
Your move, Mr. Bond. And then I was just like, ah, no.
That's brilliant.
And I had Fight on Death up and like 2 of the 11 Berserkers, not including Mo, rolled a Fight on Death. And I was like, ah, just Salt in the Wound. And he was actually habling me quite hard after that because I just lost all my teeth at that point, right? Gaz just picked up the Demon Prince and just chucked him across the table. And at that point, all of my trash just delta split like rats into the different corners of the table. Because the Forge Fiends are still picking his stuff off. Like he had 3 units left. It was like the 20 man that was the scraps and gas and like something else in the back. And I was like, all right, if I take all of my units and run in different directions, you can't
You
table
just
me,
can't catch me.
and I'll
Yeah.
come back and figure the game out. And that's what happened. Final score 74-51, Jasper. That was a really fun game. And he came up to me. He would find me in the tournament, pause his game, and come up to me and find me every single time he Kareemed his opponent because apparently he did it almost every game.
I mean, look, that's just I love it. I love like a random ass play like that just works out perfectly. Cause like he could have fucking just like it just might not have worked, you know? But that's
Uh, he was definitely like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then it's like started moving the battle wagon backwards. I was like,
yeah,
"No,
see ya. Cause Korean's like what, a D6 of a move or something like that?
no,
It's
it's
not
full
a
move.
straight.
It's full
Is it a
movement.
full move? Okay, right. I thought it was
You
a
get
dice
full
roll.
movement, and the part is it only triggers off the vehicle exploding. So we had to roll the 6 to blow up to Kareem away.
Right,
Uh,
okay.
but the the fact that it's any phase, like a tank shock hit this truck and it went flying so far backwards. I don't know. That's my head headcanon is that maybe I'm the one the rhino pushed it out of the way.
Sure. Let's go with that.
The
Let's
road
go with
leader
that.
was too angry to let his foot off the gas.
Makes sense. Anyway,
Um,
freaky win, but a win. Um,
Freaky was
yeah.
really it got a lot harder than it needed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Uh, the game three into Leagues of Votan, Dara.
Oh, fuck me, man. I would have been on the precipice if I was like Votan Orcs Votan. Wow, like talk about my
He would have
actual
dropped.
hell. I would have dropped myself.
George Rackus, and he was playing the
The
Grotmust
other one,
detachment.
yeah,
The Grotmust detachment. He had
Oath Band or something.
one Sagittar and everything else on foot.
Baller.
It was just he was playing 20 Terminators. So those things hurt real bad.
Mm,
Um, he's playing 20 Terminators, a million bikes, and a million dudes just walking up the table. Um, Thankfully for me, it's a million dudes walking up the table. And one thing that army doesn't have is, especially if you're not playing vehicles, is range.
mm.
And it was an open table again. So the Forge Fiends were just like, oh, hello, 10-man dwarf squad, gone. Hello, 10-man dwarf squad, gone. 6 bikes, gone. So every turn, he was losing 2 units because he couldn't hide from the Forge Fiends. And I just patiently waited for the Terminator squads to drop down. Khorne and Mo dispatched of them. Invocatus was in reserves too. I put him +3 in reserve so he could also hunt the Terminator squads as they drop down. He dispatched of a whole squad. It really wasn't a crazy, like, it was still a good game on his part, but there wasn't much for him to do in that situation. The, the scary part of Votan is the bikes and vehicles for us,
Yeah, for sure.
and
Yeah.
also the Armor of Contempt and the crazy good strats in the index detachment. Granted, this detachment's also good, but because of how much trash I had and his detachment relied so much on the Terminators, I could push his screens. I could screen him out and push his deep strikes out while still shooting him from across the table. So final score of 100-45. Still was a good game.
I'm balling. All right, let's keep the party rolling. We're round three. No, sorry, going into round
4
four now. We're getting there. If
getting
you're still
there.
sticking with us, check out all our links down below as well. Just before we move on, we've got a sweet ass Discord that you can hop into, chat to all of us. And if you want to support the channel, get more content like this, and get like more deeper insight into what we're talking about here and hobby stuff, you can check out our Patreon, which has access to unique and private Discord channels in there. You can check out all that in the links down below. But let's keep the show rolling. Let's move on to round four. So, what have you got?
So round 4, I can really respect this player, Jeremy Capco. Gave me a good game. He's playing Ironstorm Space Marines.
Cool.
But I can respect him because he said to me at the very beginning is, I think Gladius is stupid and I think Calgar sucks. And like
Hell yeah.
not serious context, like he was just saying that because
Yeah.
like it was a principle based thing. So he was playing his own custom chapter, Space Marines Ironstorm. Not at all a bad list, because he still has access to +1 to wound, and instead of spending 600 points on Gilliman plus Calgar combo, he's spending that on 3 more Vindicators, right? I don't really know if that's less scary, but or more scary. It's definitely
I
still
mean,
gonna be a vibe.
600 points buys you an awful lot in a Space Marine army. So,
Yep, it does. Especially because Ironstorm still has access to fallback shoot, right? So you can't just rely on tying them up. And this is also another one of those like he put two dreadnoughts in front of my face, plus three vindicators, plus a repulsor executioner. This was another scenario where I had to.
You're basically playing knights at that point,
It's
right?
basically knights at that point, and I'd argue it's probably more
Kind of
consistent,
worse.
better knights. I'd say
Yeah.
it's better. Like it's
Well, as in
worse
worse for
from.
you.
Yes, because he has access to Armor of Contempt and they have two up saves, right? It's just,
Mm.
a Vindicator is just a knight defensively, but has a two up save and access to Armor of Contempt, right? It's so
Yeah.
um Linchpin layout one. I get to go second, fortunately. Which is nice. That means I have bottom of turn scoring. And the one thing that's weak, and unfortunately for him, Ironstorm does not have access to advance and shoot. Gladius does. And here I am going to sound like a Gladius stan and a Calgar stan. But if you don't have access to advance and shoot and you don't have Calgar, nothing's stopping me from living in the house, Dara.
Hell yeah. I mean, nothing's stopping you from living in the house, even if those things are in the list. Let's be real.
I
Like, you're
mean,
posting up there.
Calgar's gonna come through the wall one way or another and die a horrible death, but at least you have a way to get me out of the house, right? Or advance and
Yeah.
shoot to come up and peek the corner. Um, the game went with me just staging up in the house, and he went for a couple all-in plays that really didn't work very early. He put six plasma scepters down to try to take Mo's Rhino away from him, which he did. There was a fortune around the corner, popped out, picked up the six plasma scepters, no problem. Just went gone.
Easy. It was like
Easy.
prime target for the Forge Fiend.
Yeah, like it's perfect profile into it. Just
Like, I was built
picked up.
to kill these guys.
Yeah. He drew Assassinate, and I had Invo plus three because I don't really like ingressing Invo or ingressing anything on layout one because there's nowhere to hide it
There's
besides the
nowhere to put
house.
it. Yeah.
So you just walk to the house. So Invo is with three, and I was like, we're just gonna walk to the house, and with his rule, he can go through a wall if he's attached to something. So I was like, sweet. So I have like a quick scouted him up, move him up against the wall, can't be seen, charge him through the wall. That was my plan. He got aggressive, charged me with the Gravis Captain and armor, 5 JPI, and whipped a Ballistic Dreadnought around the corner. I was hoping that would kill three 8-pound and Invo. Well, I only rolled fives, Invulns into the Ballistic Dreadnought, and he failed the Gravis Captain charge, or he failed the JPI charge, and the Gravis Captain got in combat with Invo and three
Oh
8-pound,
no.
and he was just like looking up at Invo like, oh dear, but he had the stupid enhancement that's like half damage for it, feel no pain. So the Gravis Captain didn't die. In fact, like took an 8-pound down with him, just like a chunk of took his chunk of flesh, and I actually fell back from the Gravis Captain and ran away because I just wasn't interested in getting stuck
Yeah.
with that thing
It's gonna
forever.
take too long. Forge
That'll
Fiend, come here.
that's what happened. The Force Fiend just
Right? Of
pasted
course
it.
it did.
Because it was on my side of the wall, so it was zero risk. Because what else is the Forge
Yeah.
Fiend gonna do? Get in a shootout with a repulsor executioner from across the table? No, it's gonna shoot this stupid green man in front of me that's in my house. Get out of my house. But truth is, I had bottom of turn scoring, and about turn three, turn four, Khorne went out and cleaned up all of that. Khorne plus 10. Um, I was fine with that because I was basically trading 180 points of Berserkers for GPI, Gravis Captain, and Ballistas.
Not bad, yeah.
Karn would have died, and then he flipped right back up. And I was like, cool, Karn's gonna flip up, which, by the way, he only did that. He didn't flip up a lot, and he didn't even flip up in Folger's game, but we're gonna talk about that later. The I was able to push him back, and then on turns three and four, I just shoved him a bit, kept him in his deployment zone. I have bottom of turn scoring, and I just occupied the table, gobbled up my primary, and that was the game. Final score was 87 to 57. Was still a very good game. He's still a very good player. I think that was just a situation of not
Layout
being
one, it's a bit formulaic, you know?
the house.
Yeah. Layout one, passive aggressive playstyle, living in the house, it all just kind of comes together if the matchup is right. Anyway, let's keep the show rolling.
Yeah, so
Game
this
five, we're on to now.
game five, and this was my sketchiest game of the event by a mile.
Okay.
Dan Miloro on Thousand Suns. This is Terraform Crucible of Battle. On layout
Okay.
one still,
Okay.
and I was able to go first, thankfully. And the annoying thing about his list is the one thing that I wanted to stop him. Going first on Terraform is actually okay, especially if you're world leaders, especially if you're us, because you can do this disgusting thing where you quite literally just run the respawn out to every single objective in the middle of the table and you terraform all three of them. Now, your opponent isn't going to be able to kill the spawn without putting something on the objective to kill them, which means they're not unterraforming the objective. So you're still getting value out of that because now they have something on that objective that your Forge Fiend is going to whip out, kill, trade up, right? And you're still scoring your terraform, right? Otherwise, you get the sticky on death and the terraform, which is like a no-no. Like they can't let you have that. So at the start of the game, I didn't terraform all three. I terraformed the middle and the side because I think I drew area denial too, and I was like, perfect. I was like, sweet. Like, go get an area denial and the spawn terraforms, and I held that terraform for all 5 turns of the game. I was like, let's go spawn. That was like a 15-point spawn. Like, get out of here, go die. Um, so we terraform 2 objectives. The other spawn goes and runs straight into his deployment zone. I charge 10 Zangors. I leave one left with 10 spawn, which is expected. In fact, I didn't think I'd kill that many Zangors. But I shoved him. I made it so his Rhino couldn't get to the house. So I kept him out of his own house. And I terraformed the whole table, which is nice. It's going good so far. The game goes back and forth. And like I said, this was actually a very hard fought game. Um, Magnus, Mutalisk Vortex Beasts. Actually, the Mutalisk didn't even shoot at all. I kept my cards really close to my chest. Like I kept my models really close because I knew it was going to be a close game because he's going to have bottom of turn scoring. And he was doing the same thing too. And we were just trading resource after resource after resource into each other. Till finally, I just ship it, send it all in. I do a shit ton of slingshotting. I take all of his rubrics and infernals. None of it, he didn't activate rubrics once this game. I killed all of them before they activated, but I hate Magnus so much. He's a bit,
It's the standard thing that whenever you're talking about a T-Sun's game where you're like, I killed 75% of his army. Did the remaining 25% kill 75% of your army, Brian?
yes, it did. It
Yeah,
did.
there you go.
And the messed up thing is, which I don't know, I there's like these rumored points links right now, which I can't substantiate at any way at all. They're probably fake. They came out of Reddit, but the Death Guard ones ended up being real. Um, Bow goats. People, anytime people complain about spawn to me, like the Thousand Suns player, like I think he mentioned, like, how early do spawn are too strong, and I was like, shut up, because
You,
six bow
yeah, you
goats
have
turned
Bogoats.
around and he went, oh, here's my army rule. I'm gonna oath of the moment your dudes. And I'm going to give myself +2 AP into your dudes. Now my 6 bow goats are going to go pew 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 with full rerolls to hit, strength 5, AP 4, 2 damage. You don't get cover. And 10 berserkers and Mo just pasted by 80 points without even trying, right? And then he doom bolted me. So like I was just like, oh my God, that army is so good. Uh, so it was a tight resource game back and forth, and it quite literally came down to me tying him up right at the very end, 87 to 84. Win for
Ooh,
me.
spicy.
And he drew the most points he possibly could on the last turn too. He literally went hold one, hold two, hold three, terraform, terraform, score challengers card, score six, score five, and I was just like, like the whole time as it started unfolding, because the math in my head was like, oh no, I was like, okay, there's no way he comes back unless he gets a near perfect draw. Then he gets the perfect draw, and it's like, ah, shit, just
Oh, I hate T-Suns. It's such a like a squeaky bum time matchup, even when everything is like going well and you do everything right, and you're like, well, I wasn't literally able to kill everything, so I guess I'm going to like be absolutely pasted all over the road now.
they just Thanos snap you off the table with like a funny little goat man going woo, and then now you're like they get full rerolls to hit into you, and then bow goats show up. It's literally just the goats. It's the goats that I hate so much.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, squeaky win.
Squeaky
That
win.
takes you to round six, so the last of the kind of standard aspect of the tournament before you go to top cut, right?
Yeah. This one is I am in Top Cut now.
Oh,
This
you're
is
in
now
top
in
cut.
Top
Yeah,
Cut.
okay.
This is now Top Cut. And I pair Peter Elias, which if that name's familiar, this is my fourth time playing him because he's from my locals. It's the Eldar player that I play all the time. Battle for the Capital, win finals. um, back in so forth. Like he's a good pal of mine. We play a bunch now at this point. Uh, but unfortunately for him, we are playing Supply Drop, which is a whoever goes second almost auto wins
Mm.
because that's the one where the last objective just scores
Just get
15
like, oh
points.
yeah, by the way, I just got 40 points in my last turn, sure.
Yeah, and it's 15 points plus your secondaries plus a challenger card, right? You can really steal a win from somebody. I was able to go second, and he was playing Eldar, Warhost Eldar. This is still on terrain layout. I think we're still on one. Yeah, we're still on terrain layout one. So basically the only thing you can do in that scenario on supply drop in that layout where your opponent can completely hide is you have to run at them and table them. And that's what he tried to do. He tried to run at me and table me. Thing is, if you're Eldar, you die really quick to World Eaters. So he committed really hard in the first two turns, and it just did not pan out. And I did a very, and I'm sorry, Peter, I did a very disgusting combo to him, or combat trick to him, which I have never been able to pull off before. And I had the perfect situation I could. And I'll try to describe it as best as I could. We're playing on, by the way, this is only applicable to like Americans and random people across the globe because this is GW rules. GW let me do this. This is the inch from the wall. Um, there's a squad of Howling Banshees and Janes are in the middle of the table. And I needed to find a way to kill the squad. I couldn't shoot it. I couldn't throw a grenade at it. I couldn't do anything to it. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't wrap it. I could have potentially slingshot it into it, but that would have required me putting 2 units into it, which I didn't want to do. So instead, I opted to just headbutt it head on with Berserkers. Right? I was just gonna be like, Mo's just gonna hit this because I drew Assassinate. And I was like, I'm just gonna kill it. I need to get this off the table. I think the Berserkers also picked up a different squad too. At the same time, I got a nice little 2-for-1. But Janezar was an inch from the wall on the inside of a ruin like this. I'm trying to represent this best with my hands. I took a Berserker and I put a Berserker here an inch from the wall, Berserker here an inch from the wall, all the way around the L, and then I came up this side into the Banshees. And it was Banshees, Banshees, Janezar.
Mm.
Basically made it, if you open the core rules and you read, when you pile in, you can only pile in towards the closest model. The closest model was on the other side of the wall, an inch away from the wall, meaning Janezar could only sit there and vibrate and
Oh
not go
no.
anywhere at all. And Janezar could only watch as the rest of the Howling Banshees tried their hardest to get through the -1 damage Berserkers because the Demon Prince came over and went boop, 1 CP, -1 damage, and he killed like 2 Berserkers, and Janezar wasn't able to see combat because inch from the wall is a problem. But honestly, you can't get around fights first without doing weird shenanigans like this
Yeah,
anyways.
you have to jank
Yeah,
it somehow, right?
like
So,
it's either the fights first thing's immortal or you do something cheesy or janky, right?
mm.
So and that's what I did. I had to.
Yep.
So did him dirty, caught that, and that allowed me to actually catch Fuegan, who was in a wave serpent behind that. And game was pretty much gone from there. Another tragic thing that happened to Pete is he jumped 10 swooping hawks out from behind a wall. He went to shoot at some chaos spawn, murdered the chaos spawn, and then he wanted to fire and fade, which is where you roll a die and you move d6 + 1, right? Well, he rolled a 1, which meant when he goes back to the other side of the wall, he's not an inch from the wall because their bases are bigger than an inch. So I was like, and Khorne is just sitting there like about to have like some fried chicken and go cook up some swooping hawks. And that's what happened. And we called the game after that because Khorne killed Baharat's swooping hawks. And because he rolled hot enough on his charge, got into Lycus 5 warp spiders too,
Oh, for
all
God's
in the same
sake.
turn. It was kind of just the
Yeah.
game just went off the cliff so fast for him. Final score 100-37.
Strong
Um,
win.
I'll probably go into detail more if people want to know about those combat tricks. There's a lot of like small little intricacies in there. But I definitely don't have the time to do that in this video. Maybe that'll be Brian's next top 3 combat tricks video.
Hell yeah. That
Uh,
sounds fun. I like that one. I haven't heard that one before, but it's cool.
it's
It's kind
hard
of
to pull
freaky.
off, but it is
It's
freaky.
so situational, you know. It's not like, oh, you should plan for this every game. It's like, no, this comes up like once in a blue moon.
But you have to know to do it.
Of course, of course. Alrighty, so we're really getting into the spice now. Round 7. So the next 3 rounds are on stream. Are those VODs available? I'm not sure if they are.
Yeah, they're posted on YouTube. GW posts them on YouTube. We'll have them linked down
Sweet.
below. Um, they are GW streams. If you're used to Tabletop Live, they're a completely different style. They are better in some ways and not as great in other ways. I'm not mic'd up, so you can't hear my thought process going on, but they had Scary there, who is a wizard at the game, and I'd say Warhammer's most loved player at this point. And he was sitting there, and
After me, but sure.
you're you like the most hated. You like the most like passively hated, I think, right? Like hate love, love hate. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but like if you hate someone so much and then like you love them in equal parts, right?
Yeah, was that
So
Stockholm syndrome? Does that the Warhammer community
I
have
think
Stockholm
so.
syndrome with
Yeah,
you?
I think I'm like Stockholm syndroming like if not all the world leader players, then like the entire Warhammer community. But you know, it's fine.
But it was nice to have Scary there to actually be able to like, because Scary was actually spot on with a lot of times with like predicting my thought processes, which is awesome. So go ahead and check those out. But getting onto this, this is World Leaders on World Leader Violence, but you could not have 2 armies that played completely different from each other. It basically was 2 different armies because I was playing against Khorne Demonkin. Not only was I playing against Khorne Demonkin, this mad lad, James Lovett, brought 40 bloodletters to the table, which after that bloodletter nerf, everybody was like, ah, cut back on bloodletters, go back to like 10 or 20. And he just like was like, nah, and he cranked up the gas and he's like, he's gonna run 40, which props to him because he was beating knights and he was beating Death Guard with this list. And he gave me a good run for my money on the game, in that game. Um, the one thing I had in my favor was I had +2 strength, +1 attack, and I had advanced charge. Literally made that whole game. I was able to reach him when he couldn't reach me. I also had access to -1 damage in my back pocket too, which he did not have access to, which makes that mirror matchup quite challenging. The one thing that he can do to really mess with me is the bloodletter strat, which he did do a few times, because bloodletters are incredibly efficient into berserkers and
Yeah.
spawn. Like they will just pick up berserkers and spawn like it was nothing. So it was actually my first priority to remove all of the bloodletters from the table, or at least get them in parts of the table they don't really want to see them. I also put Invocatus +3 8 bound in reserves. Because he still was running 20 berserkers. I wanted to be able to respond to wherever the berserkers came out. I wanted to be able to respond to Scarbrand because I was going to get ingressed by Scarbrand, and I did get ingressed by Scarbrand, but I wanted it to be on my terms. So I had a few mental checklist things going through in this game and this matchup where I was like, Karn and Mo cannot leave their Rhino until Scarbrand is on the table, right? That is how I lose this game. So Scarbrand ingresses, advances and charges, and just picks up the squad, right? So I wasn't going to leave my Rhino until then. So I had to play the entire start of the game with my Trash and Forge Fiends and the Demon Prince. Same thing, and I was actually using the Demon Prince as like a bait too. I was fine trading the Demon Prince for Scarbrand. I was like take me, just like that, just like come down and take me. I was still screening him a bit, being smart with him, but the game just started off with a nice trash trade back and forth. I got a little bit of an upper hand, just from a little bit better positioning. But the bloodletters spawning everywhere made it really hard. Invocatus came in deep strike with the steel chair, which is really nice because he also had two Forge Fiends. Invocatus +3. I put 3 8 on it to hit one of his Forge Fiends, and Invocatus completely cleaned up a bloodletter squad. This allowed me to basically turn it into a two Forge Fiend versus one Forge Fiend situation. Where I was like, hey, if your Forge Fiend ever pops out to shoot me, it's getting shot back with two Forge Fiends, right? That was what I told him. And even in deployment, he put one Forge Fiend in reserves, and I was like, I'm gonna deploy both Forge Fiends together. So even if you go first and try to shoot me down that firing lane I was talking about on layout two, I was like, you're gonna shoot me downtown, I'm gonna shoot you back twice, and you're not gonna like that. And he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna like that. Game went back and forth with trading, and I stayed patient, and I made it so I had such a huge point lead that he had to push me. Scarbrand comes down in my backfield. There's nothing I could have done about that. All of my trash is gone at this point, right? That was my plan. I'm getting pushed by 8 bound and bloodletters in the front. Scarbrand makes his charge, just completely flips over a Forge Fiend. I'm like, oh, dang, that sucks, but that's fine because I have Karn +10, Forge Fiend, Demon Prince all sitting there ready to take care of it. I do all the usual stuff, toss grenades, tank shock, go on for my charge with lethal sustained. I didn't even pick fight on death. I was like, lethal sustained, we have to kill Scarbrand. Forge Fiend shot him. I got him down to 12 before Karn and 10 charged him with lethal sustained up.
And then it was Jover.
Karn does 0 wounds. 0 wounds, not even damage, 0 wounds. I think I rolled like 5 ones to hit and re-rolled them into 4 ones to hit, and I like almost flipped the table. And then I rolled a wound and it was like only two, so I couldn't re-roll anything. I was like, oh, okay, that sucks. And then I rolled the big axes, the eviscerators, same thing. Just like a million ones into ones. Nothing happened, and I was like, okay, this sucks. And then the berserkers are like hold my beer and just like rolled a billion sixes on for lethals, so we just chipped
It's,
him down.
someone in that unit is always going to pick up the slack, right?
Yeah, and they did. But
Yeah.
the math is Karn should kill a healthy Scarbrand.
Mm.
And I had a 12 wound in front of me that he didn't kill. So I was like, oh man. And then I was like really down, and he interrupts and picks up a bunch of berserkers because he was like nonchalantly putting the rhino off. He's like, oh, the rhino's gonna attack me. There's a chance it might kill me, but I want to make sure I get enough of these berserkers off the table. Well, the rhino was just like, hold my beer and put it into reverse because I think I charged him backwards with it. And I rolled the hit roll, and there were three lethals in there, and I was like, oh, we got a chance. And I rolled a wound roll, wounding on fives, and there was like two more in there, and I handed him 5 saves, and that was just enough. Rhino ran over Scarbrand. That was the takeaway of that game. The rest of the game just kind of pattered out after that because I just had more stuff on the table. That was an incredibly fun game. Go watch it on stream. Commentators had a blast doing that one. Um,
Yeah, it
Final
was good.
score was 88 to 64 me. The blessed number two. I even told him if he beat me, he got my corn hat. James, love it. Awesome game. You're a good dude. Congrats on going 8-1 as well. We should probably try to get you on here or something sometime. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right. It's definitely getting hot in the kitchen.
Yes, we are in the quarterfinals now, top four. I've already reached my goal. I wanted to go 7-2 at this event. Everything after this is gravy. My options are pairing Folger, which we know how that went, or pairing Death Guard, which, I mean, I'm mentally prepared to play into Death Guard. Do I want to? No. And then we had Shadow Legion, TJ Lanigan on Shadow Legion, which I definitely have a preference of those three matchups, right? I definitely want to play against demons. I've never lost to demons. I think Shadow Legion has an even harder time in the World Leaders, because and I do pair against TJ. And going into this game, I knew I had that list advantage because that list relies heavily on its trash to do a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of scoring, while it sits back with Be'lakor and usually two graders or a knight that just pick you apart one thing at a time where it wants to. Like the Fade Thirster comes down, picks something up, the knight comes down, shoots something up on the other side of the table, and you're slowly losing units while he's just everywhere he needs to be to score points. That's the point of the list. Well, that doesn't work very well when the world leader player has access to spawn. They just can run the trash down, kill it, and none of his trash kills spawn. Nothing kills spawn. Like a knight has to fully activate into spawn to reliably kill spawn. Be'lakor has to charge spawn to kill spawn. Same thing with the Bloodthirster, right? And realistically, he only has 3 units that can hurt me, 4 units. So as long as I was able to not give the Bloodthirster anything tasty to go after, Be'lakor is going to stay all the way in the back anyways, because he's not going to risk losing that. Hide from the night angles. Realistically, only the Accursed Cultist can throw me off my game plan, because that's the only thing that can reach me. First opportunity I had to go after the Accursed Cultist, I would. That's what I did. He scored really well in his first turn, which gave me a challenger card because I scored really poorly on my first turn, which is really stupid because then I jumped immediately to a point lead. I had a point lead going into my turn two with a challenger card in hand with scoreable secondaries. I got the one that gave me
Great
an extra.
mechanic, guys. Great mechanic.
I got the one that gave me an extra D6 inches of extra movement. Granted, he was a Curse Cultists were only like 21, 20 inches away from me. I rolled my advance and charge, got out there, added an extra D6, basically guaranteed the charge with Khorne,
Hmm.
picked up the Accursed Cultist, and I made it all the way to his home deployment zone and touched his backfield objective, which was Linchpin. So I immediately just gave him a 0 for primary. At that point, the game was over. Like not, we had a few small exchanges, like a couple spawn here or there died, but the game was pretty much over. The knight had to turn around and deal with Khorne. Khorne lived. Blood surged into the backfield. Knight's tied up. Knight's all the way in the back. Bloodthirster's living his best life killing jackals in spawn. I couldn't care less. Let's just kick pop off Bloodthirster. I was still holding minimum 3 objectives for the rest of the game. Um, I think that's mostly a matchup problem for him.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
would say final score was 93 to 45. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that like if at any point I had about 2/3 of my army still back unused. If at any point in time I committed those, which you can actually see me multiple times in the stream measuring it out and thinking about it, like I had a few plays to rip Be'lakor away from him turn two when I did that Karn play two. Like I was debating sending it all turn two. Mo could have gotten in, Karn could have gotten in, Invocatus Ingress gotten in there, and I was debating sending it all. But took a deep breath, I looked at the table and I said, the problem that I'm presenting, and this is something that I also like when I do coaching on the side, this is something that I teach a lot, is like when you have a winning board position, don't make your opponent find a way out of it. You don't have to like hammer it down unless it's like teams or something, right? So it's
Yeah.
just like I win if I do nothing because I'm just gonna sit back and he's gonna come to me. Then all of these risky plays I'm gonna go for are just gonna be easier. So I just took the gas off, let it happen. Plan worked out. It may have been a relatively boring game to watch after Karn got in there because I did just hide for the rest of the game, but it was successful. So final score 93-45. TJ put on a really good game though. Class act of, I mean, like he has his whole redemption arc story right now. I'll go ahead and vouch for him right now and say that I thoroughly enjoyed playing against him.
Awesome, man. So that leaves us with only one game. The finals
The
against
finals.
Zepholger.
Ziffolger.
Not only do you love choking finals, but you love choking against Folger.
Yeah. Uh,
What happened, Brian?
what happened? Well, this is my best mission in the packet, which Folger looked at
Yep.
me and said, "This is the best measure in your packet, Brian. If you lose, it's gonna be really embarrassing." And I was like, "Yeah, it would be," and yeah, it was. And the
Hell
way
yeah, it
it
was.
the way it went out was, it was so bad. I've never been mad
This
at
was the
models,
dirtiest I've ever seen someone be done by their own army in any like 40K situation.
and it's fine. I mean.
Is it fine?
Invo was role playing a little too hard. I slapped him on the ass, sent him straight in there, and he was like, "Watch me, Dad. I'm gonna kill so many elves." And I was like, "I hate you. I hate you so much. You and your blue ponytail. I hate you." So the Search and Destroy, Layout 1, Finals, and Divulger. We even like, of course, this is like hilarious because this is the second super major we've gone to where the boys have been podiuming every single time. So that's really nice. Keep telling me that the Midwest meta isn't the hardest, guys. I'll wait. But we keep podiuming every super major in the US. I'm gonna like
The
start
US meta
bragging.
is soft though, so you know.
But it's not soft serve though.
It's not soft serve. It's more like it's like Ben and Jerry's, you know. There's like the occasional kind of crunchy brownie piece in there, but like that's kind of it.
What does that make Ireland?
Man, I don't know. I'm fucking washed. Like I can't be talking about this stuff. I came out of retirement and went 2-1-2. Like
How do you even get two draws on GW? Anyways, the there's no way to really deploy safe from Eldar. There isn't. They can go 20 billion inches and shoot you, which I hate getting gassed by Eldar players now. Every time somebody's like, "Oh, it's stupid that Khorne Berserkers go up to 17 in charge," and I was like, "Jane Czar does that, and nobody complains about her. Let's not complain about Lycus that goes 27 in charges and doesn't even actually move, just shows up where she needs to be." Also, Fuegan just one taps five things, and they're like, "Oh, that squad can beat 200 points. That's fine." It's like, shut up. I hate that so much. Anyways, Folger, good dude, good game. First real exchange of the game was me stepping up the gas. He gave me a little bit of an opening. We did a little bit of trash trading early. He screened me, took some pot shots at me, but I saw an opening. All right, and this is the tragedy. Like the game was lost pretty much in the first play. Um, all the way in a side objective. I'm going second, and if you're going second, if you can deny your opponent's primary, that's actually really big because that means you're gonna have the even bigger advantage for end of turn scoring. But he gave me an opportunity to kill Morgan Ra, a Falcon, five Corsairs, and five Swooping Hawks. He didn't see it. I saw it. I very easily saw it. It wasn't even hard for me to do. Um, I was able to ingress Invocatus, bring up to spawn, and you can watch this live on stream. Bring up to spawn, bring up 10 Berserkers plus Karn, and put them all in that little corner. And I was going to slingshot with Pile and Consolidate 6 off of his screen that were holding that objective, or that was holding that objective, into a Swooping Hop, Squay Serpent, and blow all of that up and kill everything. Everything was going according to plan. Uh, Now people are asking me in that situation, some of them are confused why I chose to charge in the order I did. I had to. Trust me, I had to. Um, because he was an inch off the wall, and because what I was trying to slingshot off of, I had to have all three of these units make base-to-base contact or at least get into engagement range with this squad that was an inch off the wall. If I charge with the Berserkers first and I roll too hot, that
you block
can
everything.
I block everything, right? And my whole plan's just done, right? If I charge with Spawn first, their bases are too fat, and could also block everything. So I was like, okay, we're gonna go Invocatus first. Charge Invo first, because he was also the closest, because he could slip around and behind. He did that. He nailed his charge, got exactly where I need him to be, perfect. Invocatus is impact mortal wounds, and I was the one who even was fessed up to it, because I really didn't want to use his mortal wounds, obviously. But I was like, all right, I have to. It's not a may, you have to. Roll it. It's like, as long as I don't roll a six, I'll be fine. Rolls a six. All right. As long as I don't roll a five up, I'll be fine. Rolls a five up. I killed the entire squad I was planning to slingshot off of, and what would have been a 3 inch, 4 inch charge turned into a 10 incher and a 9 incher. And
Hell yeah. Let's
I was
go,
just sitting
Invo.
there, and I was like,
Thanks for
thanks.
including me in the list, Brian. Let me show you what I can do.
I was like, thanks, bud. Spawn
Yeah.
ripped the charge and still get in there anyways, but that's not enough. I needed Karn and 10, which were
It
now just,
is literally so Jover after that.
Karn and 10 are just sitting there doing nothing. Uh, Invo for the pity points piles into the swooping hawks and kills them all because I'm mad. And I'm just like, I just want to feel good about myself in this situation. And I just knocked his models off the table. After that, I mean, that's nearly 500 points of stuff in the corner of the table that I killed two pieces of trash for. Um, yeah, that didn't, the result wasn't good. And Karn even wanted to piss me off further by rolling a one to stand back up, stayed down. And I was like, great. Uh, he then all in'd me, right? That was part of his all in. He also pushed me on the top of the map. Janzar got tied up with Fortune. I was actually kind of okay with that. I was like, if she's over there, that means she's not over here. If
She's
she's
there
not,
for a while.
she's there for a while. I was like, she's
Yeah.
basically gone. It's scorched earth. I was like, if I'm giving up one objective to you, that's fine. That can be yours for the rest of the game. Especially because I left one Banshee alive, which meant she was taking leadership checks. I was like, I get a battle shock and not get it sometimes. I was like, I'm fine with this. Um, Mo gets shipped in, Apeon gets shipped in. I go for a few desperate plays. They kind of pay off, but I don't hit as hard as I really like maximum as hard as I need to. Like I hit hard, not as hard as I could have in this crackback.
Not as hard as Fuegan does.
Not as hard as Fuegan does. Fuegan solo
What a
killing
piece of
three
shit.
Apeon. Well, he tokened it and auto wounded it, which is because what he wins on fives, but he auto wounded it and I failed all my saves. And I was like, oh, don't worry, that model doesn't deserve to be like he can't get more expensive, guys. He's not that good. He only has a D6 plus 6 damage gun. And whatever. Eldar players deserve nothing good.
It's
Join
true.
my new hate. I hate you, Folger.
Welcome
Uh,
to the Hating Xenos Club. I've been here for a while.
so that was the tournament. I ended up conceding pretty quickly to him. And like I said, there's no hard feelings between me and Folger. I don't get stressed out about these games. Like,
Is there hard feelings between you and Invocatus?
he was the MVP of the entire tournament, but the one game he chose to disappoint me was in the most pivotal moment in the finals. Takeaways here is I it was good. Don't he's still good. I'm still gonna run this list. It was still a very good list.
Don't drop him based off
Uh
like nutting a six and then nutting a five on like one dice case. It's fine.
anything can any in dice games anything can happen. And it's weird that you can be like, dang, the model popped off too good, right? And that's a problem. Like how can I complain about a model doing too good in this scenario, right?
It can
That's like
only happen in Combat Intent Edition.
so yeah, you can roll. Yeah, it's also rolling your charge too good. That was the other thing that messed me up is if I didn't have to base, then it would have been fine. But 10th edition charging and 10th edition combat's so convoluted and all these loopholes, ifs, ands, and buts and
Yeah.
combos. But
Anyway, anyway, 7-1 is a fucking hell of a result, man. And losing to Folger, like literally
uh,
winner
uh,
of WCW,
8-1, 8-1.
8-1, whatever, 7-1.
Hey, don't give it to
I
me.
don't count one of the Votans because like you have to put the two of them together to make one player because they're small. Yeah, it's a hell of a result, dude. It's like probably the best results from one of us on the channel ever, I would say.
I mean, for me,
I don't know if
certainly.
any of us have gone like 8-0 and then made it to a final.
I mean, for me, only other competitor was Dallas, but that was third place. This is like exactly one place better than that. So,
Yeah, baller.
yeah,
Sweet as, man.
perfect.
What a run. Very,
I
very
took,
proud of you.
yeah, I stayed in, I got the hotel room to my that night to myself. We had a bunch of dudes crammed in one room. But
Hell yeah.
they all
There's the
took
cold
the
open.
drive. Yeah, yeah, and they took the drive back home all the way to Michigan, which is like 12-hour drive. The event
Nasty.
ended at 7 o'clock, so you do that math there. Not great. Um, I chose to stay and just enjoy myself, walk around DC a little bit. Uh, I will be going back to Nova in the future. Fantastic event. TOs did a great job. Um, yeah.
Nice, man.
I said
Nice.
if you want more details and more questions on this stuff, I'm perfectly open to answering that stuff. Just hit me up in the Patreon or the Discord. Right, it's just too much information to spill in one video for 9 games. Maybe I'll do like a little sit down class or something. But
Yeah, maybe we'll do a Patreon call. Actually, we do them from time to time in the Patreon chats. We might do like a Nova recap with you or something maybe this weekend in there.
yep. So yeah. I guess we can probably get close to closing this one out.
I think so, yeah.
Um,
You got anything coming up that we need to watch out for?
yeah, I have Challengers Cup coming up Be heading out to Utah to take a break from singles for a little bit. I've been a little bit of a singles goblin this year. At this point, I think I've achieved my goal, singles. After that, we have WCW, which will be exciting and awesome. A few of my friends from my own team have also acquired golden tickets, so I will not be alone this time going with a few teammates. Of course, Conan and Folger will be there. So it'll be a nice trip down to Atlanta. I'll go see the last whale shark that they have in Georgia before they lose that one too. I want to go to the Georgia Aquarium so bad. Um, but other than that, I do want to also give a quick plug real quick. I know we are low on stock on them, and I just want to say that we had channel dice made, Baron of Dice. Um, Feel free to check that out. We're gonna put the link down below. I'll even flash a little picture of what they look like. We finally got channel dice in, and this is the first video we had the chance to actually talk about them. I'm really excited with them. I use them all event. I love square dice. Eventually we'll have round dice coming out, but there's my little plug for Baron of Dice there. We're excited to finally have some merch to put out.
Just
Uh,
watch out if you're from EU because you will get tariffed hard.
yeah,
My
make sure
free
you.
sample cost me more than like an American person buying these dice.
That's actually true. So if you have friends and you want to buy them in batches, please do that. So
Yeah. I think that's it. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Obviously, coming up on the channel relatively soon, probably, is going to be our big balanced data slate review. We don't know when it's coming out, but we know that it's sometime in September, probably early September. That's going to be really, really exciting for world leaders for a lot of different reasons, we hope. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for some more content stuff. I'm working on a bit of hobby stuff in the background. I just got a lot going on right now. Prep for No Retreat as well is coming up and really soon, way sooner than I want it to be. I've got a ton of events too, but we're not going to talk about those because like I'm totally washed now and like just bad at the game. So
oh, stop.
I'm John Hobby now, and you can be John Competitive. Anyway, I think that's enough for this episode of the Skull Takers. It's gone on for a while, but it's 9 games and it's like one of the coolest results we've ever put up on the channel. So, congrats to Brian. Everyone in the comments down below, give the man some love. He's doing things with world leaders that literally no one else can. So, and yeah, check out all our links down below if you want to support us. You know where to find us. Until then, Brian, you want to walk us out of this one?
Yeah, guys. Thanks for sticking around. This means a lot to me. Especially, I want to give another shout out, one last shout out before we go. Thank you to all the Red Path fans that actually came up and talked to me at the event. There were quite a bit of you. It really means a lot. Like guys, this we don't get we don't get much out of this stuff financially. This is mostly we're doing this as a hobby. This is mostly a hobby for me and Dara, and it means a lot to really hear people saying and coming up to us. So thank you for coming up to us and really like in person means a lot. So
If anyone wants to do that for me ever, it would be super nice. But
I mean
I'm
stop
washed.
Stockholm syndrome though. Yeah. But
Alrighty.
yep. All right, guys. Stay healthy, stay safe, and kill, maim, burn.